A new Wordle puzzle is online. Click on the link to play.
Listening to the following video may give you clues. Please like and share the videos.
Oldham Athletic relegated from League 2 after protest interrupts match. There's an interesting twist to Oldham's relegation story this weekend, after the club's supporters stormed the pitch to protest towards the owners of the club.
The Oldham supporters were leading 2-1 against Salford when the protest took place. Oldham fans were hoping to avoid relegation to the Nationwide League, and the protesters' banner read, "Get out of our membership." Thankfully, Oldham won the game 2-1, but it looks like the protest has left the sport deserted.
Oldham relegated from League 2. The Football League has relegated Oldham Athletic from League 2 following their 2-1 loss at Salford City on Saturday.
The match was suspended after 80 minutes after a protest by Oldham supporters, who were chanting "Get out of our club." Eventually, the game was restarted with no Oldham fans in attendance.
Oldham, who were in the Football League for 115 years, have been relegated from the Football League, becoming the first club from the top 4 divisions of English football to be relegated. The football club will now be hit by a 6 to 7-figure financial blow.
Oldham are set to miss out on solidarity payments with the Premier League, worth £700,000 a year. It is a travesty that Oldham will be relegated.
A protest would be an insult to the footballing community, which is already struggling. The protest also threatens to disrupt future fixtures and prevent the EFL from relegation.
Supporters are angry and have been calling for the club to be sold since last September. The supporters were carrying a coffin marked "Rip Oldham" FC and were wearing Grim Reaper and clown costumes during the match against Hartlepool.
Afterwards, Lemsogum has responded to the backlash by writing an open letter to the club's fans. However, the Oldham manager is still under pressure and insists on staying.
Protests against the Oldham Athletic ownership have resulted in the club's relegation to League 2. The fans reportedly invaded the pitch in a show of discontent and directed their anger at the owner's box.
The Oldham fans subsequently refused to sit down for the rest of the match. After the game was suspended, the match was completed behind closed doors, with the final score being Oldham Athletic 2-1 Salford City.
Oldham fans protest against club owners. A protest by Oldham supporters has led to the relegation of the Lancashire club to the English Football League.
The fans allegedly invaded the pitch during the match against Salford City at Boundary Park with 14 minutes to go. They were later cleared from the pitch, but the match was abandoned.
Oldham have now been relegated for the 4th time in 6 seasons. The EFL has now clarified this situation.
Supporters of the club have been demonstrating against the ownership of the club for some time. Last September, fans wore clown costumes and carried a coffin with the words, "RIP OAFC," written on it.
The Oldham chairman responded to the backlash with an open letter that said, "We will not accept relegation unless you change your mind." Oldham fans are asking for help.
Fans from the Lancashire club stormed the pitch during the match against Salford, voicing their anger towards the club's owners, and demanded the resignation of club owner Abdallah Lemsogum. The match was abandoned and restarted after a break for the supporters to disperse.
Oldham are now 7 points from safety, with just 2 matches remaining. They will face Blackpool and Sheffield United in the Championship.
Following a protest that interrupted the match, Oldham Athletic are confirmed as the first former Premier League club to be relegated to the 2nd Division. The protesters disrupted the game for over 2 hours, before the match was finally completed behind closed doors.
The game was eventually resumed, but Oldham went down 2-1. As a result, Oldham have become the first Premier League club to drop to non-league.
League 2 leaders Bristol Rovers draw 0-0. An ecstatic Oldham Athletic supporter staged a pitch invasion during the second half to demand a replay after the team was 2-0 down to Salford City.
Bobby Medley walked off the pitch, but the protesters were forced to remain on the pitch for more than an hour. The match has been postponed until today, but Oldham are likely to be punished by the Football Association and EFL.
The crowd were upset when a chanting protest broke out during the second half, causing the match to be stopped. The protest was over a foul on Jordan Clark by Ibu Adams, who was sent off for a second yellow card.
It is unclear who was at fault for the foul. although it was clear that Adams and Aitchison were playing with intent. As a result, Oldham Rovers have been relegated.
A chant of "Remain in the League One" interrupted the match at Bristol Rovers and resulted in Oldham's relegation. They have suffered 9 defeats in 11 games and are now in danger of going down.
The protest was also disrupted during a match at Bristol Rovers, when a police officer intervened to protect the club's fancive protest disrupted the match at Bristol Rovers, with Scunny supporters invading the pitch and hurling tennis balls onto the pitch.
The protest ended with Scunny being relegated despite winning the game 2-0. Worthing secured promotion to the National League South, but Oldham were left in the bottom half of the table.
It was a bitterly disappointing end to the season for Oldham. A protest disrupted the match at Bristol Rovers.
The protesters wanted a relegation playoff after the team was 2-1 down. However, the result was not fair and the protesters were ejected from the ground.
The protesters remained outside the stadium, but a large majority of supporters made their way to the pitch to protest. A second protest disrupted the match at Bristol Rovers led to the Oldham relegation.
Steve Lemsogham's decision to give up season ticket. An Oldham supporter has stepped forward in an effort to save their club, but a violent protest has interrupted a match.
The protest was organised by OSF and Push the Boundary, a group of supporters who want Lemsoghan to leave the club for money. The club has already been subject to various disputes, including the dismissal of manager Paul Scholes, the sacking of manager Craig Davies, and the appointment of his brother Mohammed as sporting director.
Those involved in the dispute have accused Lemsoghan of interfering with the football club's work, which has sparked resentment among supporters. After the clash, the Supporters Foundation announced plans for further action, including a boycott of the club's next league match.
Oldham Athletics Fence Foundation now owns 3 of the club, and its director has said the club needs to reset its finances. In an open letter to supporters, Lemsoghan outlined his vision for the club's future and his plans to keep it competitive.
While the club's football team may be struggling to survive this time, Oldham Athletic fans are desperate to find new owners. After all, they've been through 9 managers in the last 3 years and want a fresh start.
The board has a history of relegation, and fans are desperate to have a new owner. As Oldham fans continue to feel alienated from the club's owner, the protest has become a constant reminder of the problems at the club and the dysfunctional atmosphere.
They've also banned season tickets for supporters to attend the club's next 2 games, away to Leyton Orient and the home match against Hartlepool. Ultimately, the protest has led to the relegation of Oldham.
The relegation of Oldham follows a similar protest at Port Vale in November. The supporters gathered in the away end of the ground and demanded that Lemsoghan reconsider his decision.
After much discussion, Oldham have changed their decision. It's clear that the fans' decision has backfired in Oldham's favour.